How can one live successfully in the external world? It is very difficult to live in the external world, to put up with the world, to deal with the whims of many people, to please everyone. So it is helpful to have a few principles to apply to the various situations and circumstances we find ourselves involved in. Then alone is it possible for us to be successful. We have numerous experiences every day, some pleasant, some unpleasant, but there is one category of experience for which we long. The kind of experience that guides us, that motivates us to do something helpful for others and for ourselves. But such experiences are very rare. We waste our time and energy, even the time and energy that we think we are spending in pleasure, we do not enjoy, because we do not really know how to enjoy the things of the world. But we can learn how to do this. All the things of the world can be enjoyed. The renunciates say, your world does not have anything. It's not a good world. All things are fleeting, all things are changing. All things are momentary, and nothing makes you happy. Why are you in this world? Why do you not renounce? But they are wrong. We can live in the world and learn to use the things of the world as means. As Saint Bernard says, learn to use the things of the world, but love God alone. The things of the world should not be loved. Their nature should be understood, and they should become means, but they should not be loved. When we use them, we tend to get attached to them. That is not healthy. We should love God alone, and we should learn that all the things of the world are to be used solely as means for attaining the center of love. The Lord of life is called love. We should learn to love our responsibilities and to discharge our duties lovingly, without any attachment. Western students think that it is not possible to love someone without attachment. But perhaps the word attachment is not understood. Love is different from attachment. In love we give, we do our duties lovingly. And that is entirely different from attachment. Attachment is unauthorized. In attachment, we become blindfolded and selfish. In attachment, we expect all the time and we are never fulfilled. And thus we become miserable. There is not one single thing that we can say is really ours. We can have things, and we should learn to look after them properly, but we should not try to possess them. In attachment, people are afraid. This is mine. What will happen to me if it dies? What will happen to me if it is destroyed? People remain constantly under the pressure of the fear of losing what they have or of not gaining what they want. The whole problem of fear arises from these two sources. Most people are not aware that they are on a voyage. They are in the habit of collecting useless garbage, and it creates problems for them. People should learn to understand that needs and necessities are different from wants and desires. If we need something, we should have it, but we should not uselessly want to have unnecessary things. In studying the lives of great people, we find they share one trait that has made them successful. They do not take what they do not need. Once when Buddha was going as usual from door to door with his begging bowl to beg for alms, housewife shouted at him, "You idiot! You are so healthy, so strong and so handsome. You were a prince. Why did you renounce your home and start troubling us? Every day you come with your begging bowl has become too much for us." She was very angry because the whole city was full of renunciates and there were very few householders. It was a problem for the householders to feed all the monks. She became so angry that she picked up some filth and tried to give it to him. He smiled and said, "Mother, I don't need it." He started to go on his way, but one of his disciples got angry and told the woman, "I am going to kill you for behaving like this with my Lord." Buddha turned back to him and said, "You are not my disciple. You have not learned anything from me. If somebody wants to give you something undesirable, don't take it. If somebody says you are bad, don't accept such a negative suggestion." We should learn to understand this point, and then we can go through the process of life unaffected. But instead of remaining unaffected, people allow their cultural values to make them dependent on external suggestions. We are blasted by suggestions all the time, and the power of suggestion is immense. If 10 people say that we look ill, then we begin to feel sick. If someone says you ugly person, then your whole day is ruined. But if someone says, "Oh, you look beautiful," then you say, "You have made my day." You are already beautiful, but if nobody appreciates you, you don't believe in your beauty. You should learn to appreciate and admire yourself. You should learn to understand and come in touch with that beauty which is within you all the time. You are already beautiful just as you are. You do not need others to tell you are beautiful. You should not become dependent on others' opinions. You should not try to know yourself through others. There is a very dangerous characteristic in this culture. People make themselves dependent on each other. People live on suggestions. They are swayed by whatever anyone says. People are in the habit of always wanting and expecting attention from others. And this is very dangerous, because then life becomes totally dependent on others. This is the worst trait I have seen in Western culture. Wives nag their husbands and husbands criticize their wives because they expect too much from each other. When people become dependent on their relationships, when they expect too much from their relationships, then they are bound to suffer. When a girl goes to school, the thought that constantly lives in her mind is that she will meet a good boy, get married, and be happy. But there is no Bible in the world that says marriage will make someone happy. Marriage does not make anyone happy. It is only a means for happiness in life, and if this is understood, then it is very good. But if one expects too much and thinks that marriage is the answer to all the vital questions of life, then that person will find only disappointment. People grow up with unreal expectations about marriage, and the philosophy of marriage is not taught. What is the purpose of marriage? What is the philosophy of remaining single? If a single person does not know how to use his time positively, and if he has no personal philosophy of life, then he becomes perverted. Those who are unmarried are not happy, and those who are married are also not happy. Marriage is like a fortress. Those who are inside cannot come out, and those who are outside are rushing to get in. So I have not seen anyone who is happy. This does not mean that people should not get married. The institution of marriage is very necessary. If it crumbles, all of society will crumble. This is a great discipline for human society. What should our attitude in the world be? It should be that relationships and all the things of the world are means. The world has never given anyone enlightenment, but at the same time, it is impossible for one to get enlightened if one does not live in the world. What helplessness! The world does not give enlightenment, and yet we have to live in the world. Therefore, let us understand that the world should be a means for enlightenment. There are two ways of using the world for this purpose. First, you can have the attitude that you will not allow the world to disturb you, so that you can thereby get enlightenment. And second, you can have the attitude that you can use the world to help you, so that you can thereby get enlightenment. Both attitudes should be applied. One should have the same attitudes toward relationships. I will behave in such a way with my spouse and children that they don't disturb my inner peace. I will behave in such a way that they become helpful to me and that they also grow. You should first have the attitude that no matter what happens, you will not be disturbed. Otherwise, when you get something, you become emotional and imbalanced. And when you don't get something, you become depressed and disorganized. This means that you do not have the proper attitude behind your thinking and behavior. Great leaders like Moses and Jesus had to face many serious problems, but they had the proper attitude. That attitude can be built only when you consider all relationships in the external world and all the objects of the world simply as means, not ends. Then it doesn't matter if today you expect something to become your means, and tomorrow you see that it will not, when your attitude toward the external world is that all the things of the world are means and not disturbances. Then you can find happiness. If happiness were external, Americans would have it. Americans have many things, but they are not happy. Many people are very nice to others, but they are not nice to themselves. They have a mechanical way of behaving nicely with others, but they do not know how to be happy with themselves. They are creating a great conflict, a split personality, by pretending to express a happiness that is not there. Happiness is not in the external world. It is not attained through objects. People spend their whole lives wanting to have this and have that. They love objects, and they cannot love without objects. But the day you learn to love without an object, that will be the day of greatest happiness. When one learns to love God, that is love without an object. God is not an object. God is beyond all objects. So love without an object is love for God. Happiness lies within you. and you should learn to use all things and apply all means to attain that happiness. This inner happiness is in a dormant form. You have to unfold yourself to experience it. Therefore, you should learn to be still, so that the godly part in you can reveal itself to you. Be still and know that I am God. What a great promise! This is the greatest aphorism. Many Christians and Jews think that there is no meditation in the Bible, but this one sentence reveals the entire philosophy of meditation. Every human being should learn to be calm and quiet, and to see God in others. Then you can be detached from the non-godly part, and you will be loving the godly part. You are a shrine of God. I should love you because I should love God in you. It's good to love people because everyone is a temple of God. People do not worship the walls of a temple. Their love is directed toward that which dwells inside it. So, whomever you love, love God in that person.